Climate over genocide? John Kerry, the U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, attempting to justify the Biden administration's focus on getting China to cooperate in the climate change fight over addressing the genocide of Uyghurs.
What is the process by which one trades off climate against human rights?
Life is always full of tough choices in the relationship between nations.
Tough choices. Gordon Chang, the great U.S.-China tech war author. Tough choices. Ignoring concentration camps, ignoring genocide, human rights abuses, ignoring the fact that China unleashed COVID on the world, which has killed more than 4.5 million people, for climate change. Gordon, what do you say to Kerry?
Well, first of all, Kerry always talks about the rules-based order. And of course, Biden did that as well before the UN General Assembly. Well, the United States is a party to the Genocide Convention of 1948, which requires the United States to prevent and to punish acts of genocide. And China is committing acts of genocide as defined in the convention. So, right now we know that genocide, mass rape, slavery, mass killing, that's the price of a climate agreement. It's just indescribable, his words.
How do they morally justify that?
They can't. They cannot do it. There is no justification for this. This is mass death. And you just can't say, well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that they're killing Uyghurs, that they're forcing them into slavery. Dagan, you can't.
China can smell the weakness from here. And weakness and, to use your word, naivete are a death blow to anything that the United States might want. We've seen this movie before with Hillary Clinton, correct?
Yes, we saw this in February 2009 when Hillary Clinton was in Seoul just before going to Beijing. She said that the world can't let human rights and some other issues prevent the U.S. from talking to China on other things. They can't let it interfere, is the word she said. Well, just a month after Clinton went to Beijing, the Chinese went on the warpath. They actually attacked a U.S. vessel in the South China Sea, and they harassed another vessel in the Yellow Sea. So it didn't work then. I would thought that basically Kerry would have learned that because Hillary Clinton was his immediate predecessor as Secretary of State. So yeah, it didn't work then. It's not going to work for Kerry either.
Well, Larry Kudlow on Gutfeld one night referred to John Kerry as possibly the stupidest person in Washington, and he publicly admitted that the United States could reduce its emissions to zero and it wouldn't have any impact on global climate change and global emissions. So why are we even attempting to do this, number one? And number two, speaking of China sensing weakness and exploiting it, our weakness, China was flying dozens of fighter jets near Taiwan in a show of force, in the last 24 hours, right, Gordon?
Yes, they did. They flew 24 planes into Taiwan's air defense identification zone. This is basically every other day that China's been doing this, testing Taiwan. And yes, the Chinese do smell weakness on the part of the United States. And if you want a climate deal, we should listen to what Beijing says. Beijing says that it's going to limit its emissions, not because of its relations with the U.S., but because they want to do it on their own. Well, if that's the case, we don't have to give them any concessions. And by the way, on your first point about John Kerry being the stupidest person in Washington, the most incredible thing is that John Kerry doesn't know he's stupid.
Well, and that's dangerous. Is it not? I mean, it's dangerous to the United States, certainly dangerous to the people who benefit from a cheap and plentiful fossil fuel here in the United States, and certainly better engines and better, more efficient use of our fossil fuels and a higher standard of living that we all have in this country because of those inexpensive fossil fuels, and also how our economy has benefited so mightily from fuel production, from, gas and oil production in this country. Just one final note. Gordon, I want to point out that these are the same people who ignore China's human rights abuses, the genocide, the COVID, the Wuhan virus that's killed 4.5 million people, but they will fully endorse a boycott of a U.S. state that does something it doesn't like in terms of policy.
Yeah, and by the way, our natural gas and our internal combustion engines probably are better for the environment than those electric-powered vehicles, because you've got to add up the environmental costs of actually making the batteries and also producing the electricity that goes into those batteries. So, Dagan, for everything you said, 100%. Plus, also, they're not accomplishing their goals of cleaning the environment.
Gordon Chang, always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Gordon. We'll see you soon.